Julie Ryan, noted psychic and medical intuitive, is ready to answer your personal questions, even those you never knew you could ask. For more than 20 years, as she's developed and refined her intuitive skills, Julie used her knowledge as a successful inventor and businesswoman to help others. Now, she wants to help you grow, heal, and get the answers you've been longing to hear. Do you have a question for someone who's transitioned? Do you have a medical issue? What about your pet's health or behavior? Perhaps you have a loved one who's close to death and you'd like to know what's happening. Are you on the path to fulfill your life's purpose? No matter where you are in the world, take a journey to the other side and ask Julie Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your humble hostess, and I'm so delighted you could join us this evening. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. And I hope you all are surviving the deep freeze that's encompassing a lot of the country. I think it's on its way out now. It's pretty chilly here in the deep south. I think it was 22 this morning when I got up, and it'll be cold again this evening, but then it's going to warm back up for us. And I'm very excited because my baby, Jonathan, is flying in from Los Angeles. He is in the air right now, and Tim and I are going to go pick him up about 10:30 tonight. So this mama is very excited, and his fiance, Mallory, I think I've told you, is in vet school at Auburn. She's going to be Dr. Mal here in a couple of years, and there's several activities happening, big deals in the vet school for her. So he's flying in for them, so we're delighted we're going to get to see him so soon after Christmas. So I hope you all had a good week. We have a bunch of callers, so let's go ahead and go to the phones and see what kind of questions they have, and we'll try and get them some answers here. I believe our first caller is Amilda. Hi, Amilda.
Well, good evening. Gosh, it's so fun hearing all these different people on the call this tonight. How great is that?
I know. The more the merrier, right?
That's my philosophy.
Yeah. I know it. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from North Carolina, and yes, right. We're on a freeze too. We've got tons of snow, and I just as soon it go away.
I hear you, girl. I tell people I don't do snow. So
no,
that's why I live in the deep south, and that's why I lived in LA for such a long time. But my first job out of school was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I grew up in Ohio. And South Dakota made Ohio winters look like the tropics.
So, don't ever want to go there then.
I just don't want to do it, so I don't. Yeah. So, got a question for me?
I do. And actually there's two questions that are along the same subject, and the two might even be related.
Okay.
And this is regarding my horse. His registered name is Firewater Will, and you've helped me before with one of my horses, and you were spot on with an injury that he had and was very helpful. So I thank you again for your help.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes. And, sometimes our veterinarians and whatever, no matter how great their diagnostics are, because these poor animals can't talk, verbally, it's hard to know what they're trying to tell us, but they're always talking to us.
Right.
And my question is, recently, mine has started shaking his head periodically. And it's not when he's in a stall or out in the pasture. It's usually when, I'm with him and doing something, and he's never done this before. And he's just shaking his head back and forth, and like he's trying to tell me something is bothering him or whatnot, and I just don't know where to go with it.
Shaking his head from side to side, Amilda, like he's telling you no, or up and down, or what?
No,
up and down.
It's shaking. Yes, no. It's like a no, and I checked his ears. Yes, okay. And I'm like, is there something in his ears? And I've looked in his ears, and I haven't seen anything.
Okay. All right. And going to the vet with a horse is a totally different equation than going to the vet with a dog or a cat, which can be expensive, but I know equine vet stuff is just nuts.
Yes, and when it's something mild like this, it's nothing aggressive, it's nothing, that big a deal. It's just, he's just definitely trying to tell me something.
Yeah. It was funny when you were telling me about it, I was having this vision of him shaking his head side to side, almost like he was saying no, that something like a little child would say no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, and I'm going to connect to you in North Carolina. And spirits vibrate faster, Amilda, than humans do, simply because humans are spirits in a body having a human experience. And so we vibrate more slowly simply because the body has mass. So I'm going to close my eyes, cover them over with my hands so I can see the pictures in my head better. And I'm going to watch a laser beam come from my body here in Sweet Home, Alabama. I'm in Birmingham. And then head up to you in North Carolina. And then from you, I'm going to go to your horse. So what do you call your horse?
Willy.
Willy. All right. So I'm going to connect from you to Willy. I'm sure I knew you didn't call him Firewater Will every time you addressed him. So. Hey, Firewater Will, come here.
Yeah.
So, Willy. All right. So here we go. Laser beam. Got you. Got him. All right. What is going on? He's got, it's a ENT thing going on, especially on the right side. The eustachian tube, and I don't know what they call it on a horse, but the eustachian tube going to his ear is somewhat clogged. So what I'm watching happen is I'm watching it get, for lack of a better word, roto-rootered. You know what a corkscrew looks like? There's an energetic corkscrew that's going through that ear and in through his eustachian tube. So he feels like he's got something in his head, in his ear, is what he's doing. Almost like you wouldn't be able to see it with the naked eye, but if a vet, what's that called, an otoscope that they use on humans, you know, that little thing they put in your ear and then they can shine a light and they can see in there. So that's what I'm getting. Let me check the other side. It's the right side. Does he seem to be favoring the right side?
Maybe, but I'm not going to say emphatically no. I mean, it's just a good shake, both sides, but side to side.
Okay. I think it's an ENT thing. I'm getting that it would make sense for you to take him, to have your vet look at him for that. And I don't see an infection with him, Amilda, but I do see it clogged. It almost looks like it would be the equivalent of our earwax. You know, sometimes how humans get a wax buildup. Have you ever had that with any of your horses in their ears before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Have you ever heard of that? I don't know about horses. I don't even know if it exists, but that's what I'm getting.
Anything can exist with a horse. There's no question about that, but that's a new one, and it's only, yes, horses are so unique, and nothing ever surprises me. And just because I haven't had the problem before means nothing. It just means I haven't had it yet.
I'm getting that it just needs to be irrigated, like when people get buildup of wax in their ear and they irrigate it and they get all that goop out of there.
Right. And I can see sand being in there because they roll in the sand. And he likes to dig his head into the sand when he rolls, so I can certainly see that.
There's stuff in there, and it just needs to be irrigated. I don't see an infection.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And then the other question is, I just bought new equipment for him as far as a new saddle, and just been trying to evaluate whether this saddle fits his back well and if he likes it.
I get a no on both. And I'm sure you paid a lot of money for that saddle. But he's telling me it's uncomfortable. I'm not getting that it fits his back well. Okay, so what's the fleecy, kind of fuzzy stuff that you put down before you put the saddle on him? What's
the saddle pad?
Saddle pad. Something real basic. The saddle pad. Okay, so I'm getting that the one that you're using needs to be thicker on him with that saddle, and that will help. So let me ask the question. If Amilda uses a thicker saddle pad on her horse, Willy, with the new saddle, will it be more comfortable for him? Yes. Will he mind it? No. So look into that. I would think those would be less expensive than a saddle. Yeah, I'm sure I know everything's very pricey with horses, but you may want to try something like that and see if it makes a difference. Or if you have another one, use that, and hopefully that can help. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I hope those help. Let us know what the vet said. My future daughter-in-law, if she was closer, I'd send her over.
Oh, yes.
We'll
that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All righty. Thanks for calling in. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty. Our next caller is Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello. I am so excited to be speaking to you.
I'm so excited to be speaking to you. Where are you calling us from?
I am from California, Southern California, so it's actually quite warm here today. I'm wearing a tank top.
Where in Southern California?
It's about an hour north of Los Angeles.
Called?
Lancaster.
Oh, yeah. All right. I used to live in Lake Village, so I know. Yeah. So I didn't know if you were north going towards Santa Barbara or north heading up the 5. So, gotcha. Okay, well, you got a question for me?
Yes, I do. There's been a man that I've known for several years now, and I've been told by several other psychics that we share soulmate energy between us. And I wasn't sure if we were supposed to be together or why we are in each other's lives. And I've seen such a long string of synchronicities that are undeniable, and signs pointing towards him supposedly, supposed to be in my life when I ask for guidance and direction, but we're not together, and I don't know what the reason is why this person's in my life.
Okay, do you want to be with him?
Yes, I do, but yes.
It's not happening at the moment.
Yes, it's not.
Okay, all right. Here's the deal with soulmates. Everybody thinks that soulmates are our romantic partners and there's only one for us in life and all that, and that's a bunch of nonsense. All right?
Yeah.
It's been created by the movie business and by the publishing industry to sell books and movies, tickets. Okay? Everybody in our life is a soulmate. Everybody. Even people that you talk to at the grocery store or a teacher or whomever. They're all soulmates. And we play different roles. So as far as this man...
That's why I'm calling, because I'm trying to find out what I'm supposed to learn or what are we supposed to learn from each other, or, trying to clarify that in some way.
Well, I guess my question to you is, are you looking for somebody who's a mate that you're going to be thrilled with, or are you only looking to be in a relationship with this guy?
I haven't really thought of it because I haven't really.
Okay.
I don't know what the reason is. There might be something I need to learn from him, or he needs to learn from me. So
maybe.
I'm not getting answers.
Maybe he's in your life, and this thought just came into my head because he may or may not be who you're supposed to be with. So here's a little trick that you can use. Okay, we give out vibrations, or we have an energy field, and an energy field looks like a halo or an aura. Have you ever seen a picture of maybe a halo around Jesus or the Virgin Mary or a saint or somebody like that? Well, that's how a lot of tests are done. You can have a imaging test done, like EEGs. When they do your brain waves, they're measuring your energy field, basically, to get the results from your brainwave. So we all give off vibes. When you meet somebody and you think, oh, that guy feels creepy, or you meet somebody else and you think, oh, we really hit it off.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a vibe that we all give off. So we can control what kind of vibe we give off by our thoughts and also how we feel. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to get really clear on what you want in a partner, in a romantic partner. And instead of, you know how affirmations say, I'm in a wonderful romantic relationship, blah, 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 blah. And people say, okay, you need to read that every day. And then you think, well, that's nonsense. I'm not in a relationship. The vibe you're sending out is no relationship because you don't believe. You don't believe. So exactly, you want to say, I'm in the process of creating the ideal romantic partner in my life, or the ideal husband, or the ideal boyfriend, or, fill in the blanks. Because when you say I'm in the process of creating it, you can believe that, and then that's going to give off a positive vibe, which is going to attract the ideal man to you. Likewise, when you go out with somebody and there are things you're not really crazy about that guy, just say, I'm in the process of creating the ideal person. And it helps you clarify what you want. But if you go and you call all your girlfriends and you say, oh, my God, you won't believe what this guy did on our date, creating more of what you're talking about. Does that make sense?
So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I was just wondering about this one person because when they do ask my guides or whatever, I get completely clear signs that are completely undeniable. So I was just wondering, why is this specific person in my life? I'm not saying that we're supposed to be together romantically, even though I would like it. I'm just trying to figure out, why is there a reason for this person to be in my life?
I think it's going to become evident to you as you go along. And and you're trying really hard to figure it out, but obviously you're not getting the answer, so you're not supposed to know at this time.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
So I know that's frustrating. So again, you're giving out that frustrating vibe. So, how about switch it to, do you have a good friendly relationship with him?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. So focus on that. He's fun to be with. I enjoy his company, whatever. That's going to totally change what your vibe is that you're giving out. It's not going to negate the good stuff that you feel.
All right.
Okay? So if you have 10 positive and 10 negative, then you got 0 attraction, right?
Yeah.
So focus on the positive stuff, but focus on stuff that you believe and pay attention to how it feels. And they say that law of attraction thing with the universe, it doesn't know any differently if it's true, if it's not true, if it's our imagination, if we're dreaming it up, whatever. It's just going to respond to what the vibe is that we put out. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right. And when I ask the question, why is Elizabeth in a relationship with this guy, if the answer I get is to figure out what you want. So there are parts, so I get from that, there are parts of him that you really enjoy, and there are parts of him that you really don't enjoy. And so focus on the ones, okay. But there are some things, there's some things in there that are not, on a scale from 1 to 10, they're not 10 to 15, right?
Maybe I don't know yet.
Yeah. So
this might be to lead me to someone else?
It might be. I think it's going to help you clarify what you want.
So confused.
Okay. All right. Clarify
thank you.
Want. Okay. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All righty. Our next caller is Beth. Hi, Beth.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you, Julie?
It's
been a couple of months, but I wanted to speak with you tonight. I know you've spoken to my sister in the past, Nancy, and she had done a body scan for my mom, Anne, and I was hoping you could do another scan tonight. she's definitely getting closer and closer to the end, and just wanted to get an idea how many spirits are at her feet now. What transition is that?
Sure. Beth, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from San Jose.
All righty. Terrific. Okay, and remind me what your mom's name is.
Anne.
Okay, and your sister's name then?
Nancy.
All right. Okay, got to get all these names straight. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect with you, Beth, in San Jose, and I'm going to connect from you to your mom, and then we'll see what's going on with her. I do remember scanning her before.
Yes,
so
twice.
I don't remember what phase she was in, though. Do you remember?
She was in, when I had asked the first time, she was in 7, and then when Nancy had called, you said it was like, I think 9.
Okay.
So it's been a couple of weeks, and like I said, we've noticed a huge difference in her behavior and her health. So.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to you, my laser beam, and from you to your mom. And let's see what I can go. Okay, here goes my laser beam heading out to you. And San Jose, got your mom. Okay, she's in phase 10. What I'm talking about, for those of you who are first-time listeners, is the 12 phases of transition is what Beth and I are talking about here. And if you go to my website, AskJulieRyan.com, you'll see a tab that says the 12 phases of transition, and it has a bunch of graphics on it. And it's the different phases that we go through as we're dying. And we can go through them, Beth, really quickly, or like in an instant death, or in something that's somebody dies really quickly, or it can stretch out over days, weeks, months. And in your mom's case, she's in phase 10, which what that looks like is her spirit is hanging onto the top of her head. It looks like a bubble, like in a cartoon caption where the character's thoughts or words are normally in a cartoon. She has guardian angels on either side of that bubble that is attached to the top of her head, and a vortex has started to form above her head. And what that's going to do is that's going to create an upward pull to help her spirit evacuate from her body. Okay. And she also has a line of angels that's in a really mild horseshoe at her feet. Her parent spirits are at her feet, and then many, many other family and friends spirits are there as well. And I call them the Welcome to Heaven Committee. So they're all there to greet all of us when we go. There are 3 questions you may remember that I always ask, Beth. And the first one is, are you ready to go? She's telling me no. Are you in pain? Yes. She's telling me she's in pain. And what do you need, my family? Which is pretty typical. And that's probably what she said last time, is my guess.
Yeah. I ask her all the time if she's in pain, and she says no. I mean, it's like the one thing she responds to, but she's getting less and less responsive, like within the last week. Between my sister and I, we're almost, one of us is there like every day. And, we were comparing notes last night, and I said, I'm going to give Julie a call and see where she's at. But I was actually thought that she would be further than 10, to be honest.
Well, and I've seen people that stay in phase 11 for almost a year. It's just, we all decide when we go, how we go, and what the circumstances are and who's with us. So I think I have probably mentioned to you before, but I'm going to mention it again. If you're not with her, it's okay, because she's going to have, sometimes people will not have anybody with them. My Mima did that. 6 weeks shy of 100. We were all with her. We didn't even know she was dying. And I left her. I was gone maybe a half an hour, and she checked out. I was like, what? What are you doing? But she did. So
my brother had come out to visit, and from the East Coast, and we all thought, okay, well, she's waiting for him. to say goodbye to him, because that's what my father did when he left. He said, he asked if my sister and I were with him, being, he's on the East Coast and we'd be on the West. And he said to my brother, are they on their way? And my mom said, yeah, they're on their way. And then he died the next morning before we got there. So we all thought, okay, she's going to do the same thing. She's waiting to see her son, her baby son, who's 63. And
I love it.
It's always, but no, I mean, she just like comes alive when she sees him. It's like, oh my gosh. And we didn't get that reaction this time. And we're all of us are in agreement. All three siblings are thinking, okay, this is definitely it. So that's why I just wanted to get a scan done and see what's going on. But
and she can progress really quickly too from here. You just don't know. You just don't know.
She's definitely afraid though, because she just gets that stare. When they start doing that stare, when and I make jokes the other day, and she just was not. Like, she kept kicking me in the butt when I would bend over. And I thought, what are you kicking me in the butt for? Making jokes? Nothing. I didn't get any smiles or giggles or anything. And then she tried to do it again. And then I realized, so I made another joke. I'm like, Ma, you trying to kick my big butt, And then I realized she's very agitated, and she's trying to get out of bed or just get out of the wheelchair, or she just gets really agitated and pulling the oxygen out of her nose, and just different. Different than what we're used to. So,
do you have hospice involved, Beth?
We do. Hospice has been involved. In fact, 2 weeks ago, they were going to graduate her again, and then like a couple of days later, they were like, no, we're keeping her on. And now they were going back and saying, maybe we need to get a hospital bed. And we said, yeah, but if you get the hospital bed and she graduates hospice, then she's without a bed. So we're going through all this stuff right now, and everybody's kind of like, it's a guessing game, right? And you don't want to rush them, but at the same time, it's like you want to make them as comfortable as possible, and it's just difficult. So we're all just kind of trying to put our personal things in order so we're ready when we need to go back east. So, because we're going to be burying her with my dad, so we'll be shipping the body. So we're trying to be realistic about it and plan as much as you can, so.
Right. Anyway. Two things. First of all, hospice should be able to help her with meds to control that agitation. That's very common. Okay. Number one, so ask them about that. And number two, the staring thing is very common as well near the end. And it's like they're not able to focus as much. Was my experience with my loved ones at the end. And it's freaky because you're thinking, what the heck are you looking at?
Right?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. And then you wonder, is it dementia or is it the end, It's
not. And have you had a chance to read my book yet?
I haven't, but Nancy's finished it, and she's supposed to give it to me.
Okay, perfect. That will help a lot, because you'll get a lot of information from that about what I went through with my mom, and then there are several stories in there that are really heartwarming about other people with whom I've worked. But the other thing is, if she starts to talk about deceased loved ones in the room, like her mom or your dad or whomever, most people think, grandma's really not, she's losing her mind, or dementia's setting in. It's not. They're able to see spirits in the room. And it's because it's like they're straddling different realities. They got one foot in this human reality and one foot in the non-physical and the spirit reality. So just talk to her about it. She may answer you, she may not, but she's seeing what she says she's seeing if she starts into that. I have that so many times with people.
She's getting less than, the thing is, too, is that we noticed that she's getting less and less vocal. But before, like 2 weeks ago, I went to visit her, and she was doing the staring thing, and she stares at the ceiling. I love this ceiling. Who are you looking at, Mom? And she would come out, and she would say, Eugene. And I'm like, my uncle, Uncle Eugene? She's like, yeah. So she's seeing it. So, my book. Yeah, and, my sister and I are totally, we kind of get it. You know what I mean? Like, we understand, we believe that they see spirits and all this other stuff. So, and Anyway, I appreciate you doing the scan.
You
I'll
are
let you go.
so welcome. Okay, read my book. It'll help. Angelic Attendance, everybody. And it's gonna give you a bunch of comfort, too, as you go through this. Okay,
Thank you so
thanks
much.
for calling.
Have a great day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye. Okay, we do this show, everybody, every Thursday night. It's at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 712-770-4160, and the access code is 533677#. And you can find this information a bunch of different places. First of all, on my website, AskJulieRyan.com. On the homepage, if you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, you'll see it. Secondly, wherever you download your podcasts and listen to them, it's in the show notes for every podcast, so you can reference it there. It's also in my blog, and I send a little blog out every Thursday morning, and you can sign up for it on my website. Again, AskJulieRyan.com. You'll see a button there. You just put in your first name and your email address, and it's never sold, by the way, to anybody. I'm the only one that uses it, and it'll be a question that somebody has submitted online, and then I'll answer it, but also a reminder about the call-in information's on there. I post on Instagram and also on Facebook, both under Ask Julie Ryan. So friend me on Facebook, and you'll see I'll post the day of the show, and I'll say, okay, here's the call-in numbers. And then we're on YouTube now. I'm on YouTube, which all this information's on YouTube as well. So no excuse for not calling in, you guys. Call in and join us. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of questions that were submitted online, here's one from Kelly, and Kelly lives in Saline, Michigan. And she said, "Hi, Julie. I've heard you help others with pets on your podcast, so I'm hoping you can give me some advice on mine. My big orange kitty, Nelson," isn't that a great name? Nelson is about 15 and a half years old. He's had various skin conditions throughout his life, and now he has a growth a little smaller than the size of a dime on his chin. It doesn't seem to bother him too much, other than it may be a bit itchy. The vet is assuming it's a tumor and has recommended that we laser it off. However, she's also advised it could very well grow back and potentially be more aggressive. Can you please scan Nelson and let me know what you see and if removing the tumor is the best course of action? And here's my response. Hi, Kelly. In order to get some information for you, I first energetically connected to you and from you to Nelson. He is very cute. The growth on Nelson's chin looks like a sebaceous cyst to me. Although the surface area is the size of a dime, it has a conical shape that goes to a point inside. It reminded me, if you've ever seen a graphic or ever had a plantar's wart on the bottom of your foot, and you get that thing out, it looks like a cone, and the wide end of the cone is on the surface of the skin, and it goes down almost to a point inside the tissue, and that's what it looks like on Nelson to me. I went on to say, in addition, the cyst looks to be filled with sebum, a waxy paste-like substance comprised of keratin, a protein found in skin and hair. I believe it's in Nelson's best interest to have the cyst removed. And at this time, I don't get, that means when I ask the question, I got to know, I don't get it will grow back. Hope this helps, and please give my best to Nelson. I love that name for a cat. I think that's hilarious. So with that, let's go back to the phones and see who our next caller is. I believe it's Jackie. Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
How
are you, Miss Julie?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. I could be better. Part of the reason why I'm calling in to ask for some advice.
Yeah.
I'm just recently, I feel like ever since the start of the new year, I've been in like a funk. We've talked about this before. I've had some struggles with anxiety and depression in the past, and they haven't really come up recently. And now I feel like I'm just in like a foggy haze, and I don't really know how to escape that. So that's why I'm wondering if you can, if you know anything, or can give me any tips or see what's wrong.
Sure. Where are you calling us from, Jackie?
New Jersey.
Okay. All right, let me get you on my radar, and I'm gonna do a medical scan on you real fast, and let me see if I can pick up anything that's going on. The first thing that comes to my mind is the weather's been so cold that you probably have been inside most of the time. Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And when we don't get sunlight, it affects our moods. So I look like the abominable snow woman when I go out for my walks when it's really cold. I put tons of layers on, but I want that sunlight. On a sunny day, I don't go out when it's weather's really nasty.
Yeah.
And, but if it's sunny, even if it's cold, I'm outside because I want that sunlight because it really helps eliminate depression. The other thing with the light, especially in the winter, is you may want to look into getting the full spectrum light bulbs, and you can put them in your vanity or if you have lights in your house that you're under. Like I have full spectrum bulbs in my office that I sit under. I have a ceiling fan with a light on it. It's a fancy light. It's crystal. It has like this crystal globe. Most ceiling lights are kind of scary looking, but mine's really pretty. But it's full spectrum. So look into that. You can get them, look for them on Amazon. You can have them delivered. But here we go. Here comes my laser beam. All right, got you. I get some depression energy here going on with you, girl. All right. So depression energy looks like kind of a brownish, grayish fog. And what I'm doing, and it's all over your body, it's like in my head I can see a hologram of you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to force it out the top of your head, where I was just talking with Beth about how the spirit exits the body at the top of the head. When I'm helping with healings, when I'm helping force depression or viruses or bacterial infections or whatever, they always go out through the top of the head energetically. It's bizarre. I can't tell you why. It just must be where that's an opening is. So I'm forcing that out. Okay. What I'm getting is, for you in the short run, do you take any omega-3 supplements?
No.
Okay. How about vitamin D3?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I want you to go to the store. You can get these at the drugstore at CVS or Walgreens or the grocery store, wherever.
Yeah.
And I want you to take 4,000. And I think it's IUs. It's on the front of the bottle of omega-3, and it's fish oil. Comes in capsules. You want to get the purified, and you want to get the burpless. Okay. And Nature Made makes one that I like because it doesn't taste fishy, and it's purified to get the mercury out of it. So I want you to take 4,000 omega-3. I want you to eat avocados and eat wild salmon, maybe at least once a week. Okay, don't eat the farm salmon. I want you to eat the wild salmon, wild-caught salmon. And then for D3, I also want you to take 4,000 IUs or whatever that is. It's probably milligrams on there.
Of vitamin D3?
Vitamin D3. Vitamin D3. And that's going to, psychologists and psychiatrists have found great results in treating anxiety and depression. And they've found if they use D3 and omega-3, it has a really similar, if not better, effect than the antidepressants in a lot of cases. What they've found with their studies, the ones that I've read several on this lately, is that it's very common for people with depression and anxiety symptoms to be low in omega-3s and D3. So give that a try. It's inexpensive. Do the light thing, and I think you're going to feel a whole lot better.
Okay, awesome. I really hope that it works too. I'll definitely keep you updated.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Our next caller, Stacy. Hi, Stacy.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, thanks. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Austin, Texas.
Oh, good. Well, what's happening down there? You guys are over the deep freeze, right?
Yeah, we're still kind of cold for Austin, but yeah, as far as the deep freeze, yeah. We broke out of the freezing point today, so that was at least a little break.
Good. Well, good.
And we're supposed to be back up to like 75 this weekend, so.
Perfect. You go out and get a suntan, girl.
Exactly. Okay, so I missed a step on New Year's Eve and tore up my ankle a little bit, so I'm in a boot. Wanted to see what you can find from it. It's on my left ankle.
Okay. Let me see. So, have you had it X-rayed, or have you had an
Had it
MRI?
X-rayed. There was no breaks.
Okay. All right, I've got it. Got it on my radar. Okay. So, when I see torn ligaments, as the body is healing, what I see reminds me of a ball of yarn, believe it or not, which is, I've just been doing this for 25 years. So sometimes when I see visuals, I've just seen them enough that I know what they represent. And the ball of yarn is a bunch of little, it's a bunch of little strands of ligaments, and they're very thin and they're kind of a royal blue color. Okay, when I see them in a ball of yarn, what resembles a ball of yarn to me, it's the body trying to heal itself. And what I've done in the past, Stacy, is I've tried to unravel that ball of yarn, and it just comes back. So I've learned to leave it alone. So what I'm watching happen though is is it still swelling?
It's a little bit swollen, but not like it was.
Right. I'm still seeing some inflammation in there, especially around, if I look at you from the side and your ankles in the middle, around where the ankle bone is, I can see some swelling. So I'm working on getting that down. I'm applying anti-inflammatory energy. And let me see, I'm not seeing any breaks with it. I'm getting that you've torn some ligaments. But, you know, like the ropes that are used to dock a boat, those big twisted ropes, and you may have seen in a picture or a movie or something where it's starting to come apart, and some of the strands of the rope are broken, but most of the rope is still intact. Does that make sense? That's what I'm seeing with your ankle. So you've torn some ligaments, but most of them are still intact.
Okay.
So you're going to heal from this. What I'm watching happen is a healing where the ones that are torn, and some of them are not completely torn, Stacy, but they're shredded. Those are being sewn back together. So this is an energetic healing that I'm watching happening. And it's interesting because the ones that are torn are right below the surface. So on that ball of yarn, there's some that are intact, and then there's some below that are not intact, and then below them there are some that are intact, almost like the ones that are intact are holding together the ones that aren't. They're supporting. Does that make sense? They're supporting the ones.
That does make sense, yeah.
That aren't intact. So so I'm getting, you probably are going to need to stay in that boot for another 4 to 6 weeks to heal.
Okay.
And you've probably been told this by your orthopedist, but it takes longer to heal torn ligaments than broken bones.
Oh yes, I've heard that before, and just thought I would call and check and see kind of where I was with it. So
right. I think you're healing. I don't see as much inflammation as I'm sure was there initially. The thing that I am getting to caution you about is to be sure that you're level. So be sure that on your other foot, on your right foot, you're wearing enough of a wedge or a heel or tennis shoes or something that's going to mimic the height on your other foot with the boot on it, because you're going to be throwing out your hip and some other, perhaps your back, just because you're going to be walking, kind of lopsided.
Walking cattywampus. Yep.
That's right.
I got that.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
I hope that helps, and I hope you heal quickly.
Well, thanks, Julie. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks for calling.
All right.
Take
thanks.
care. Bye. Okay, our next caller is Melda. Hi, Melda.
Hi, Julie.
How are ya?
Oh, I'm just doing kind of okay.
Well, terrific. Where are you calling from?
It's raining out here, and we need the rain, so it's not quite as cold as you guys are.
Yeah. Tell everybody where you're calling from.
I'm calling from California, Danville.
Okay. All right. So, what's going on how may I help you?
Well, I just wondered if you could do a scan on me and see what's going on with my bronchial tubes. It just seems like I'm doing a lot of coughing. I have been put on inhalers, and it's just sometimes that I almost can't stop the cough.
Oh,
and then that's
exhausting.
Yes. I just wondered what's happening and why is it still lingering on?
Okay. Is it worse? It's probably worse at night, too. It usually is, right?
Oh, yes. Much worse.
Yeah. So you're probably exhausted because you're not getting a lot of sleep. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do, let me get my radar. Let me get you on my radar. Here comes my laser beam coming out to you. Okay, got you. Oh, yeah, girl. You got some serious inflammation in those lungs. All right, let me get that calmed down. Inflammation, everybody, looks to me like red fog, but it's dry, and I see it over body parts. So in Melda's case, it's over her lungs. So like fog, when you're driving down the road and it's foggy at night, you don't have good visibility because it blocks kind of the view of where you're going. Same with this inflammation fog. So Melda, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply anti-inflammation energy to get that fog down and that red inflammation. And let me see what's going on. You got a viral infection. What? What's the doctor saying? Obviously, you've been to the doctor if they've given you inhalers.
Well, I have, and I'm taking the inhalers, which I really don't like doing. But it just momentarily helps me. And then,
sure.
And then the next day I do it again. So.
Okay. So what I'm doing is what you heard me talk about before, which is this is a healing. I'm forcing the virus out through the top of your head. And so I'm watching this. Viral infections are kind of brownish. They remind me of really thin, watery beef broth. They have that kind of a consistency. Whereas bacterial infections look to me like hot pink. They're almost a fuchsia color. You do not have a bacterial infection, you got a viral infection. And so let's get this out. Yeah, your little bronchi, I think they call them, are really inflamed. Poor baby. All right, let me get those calmed down with anti-inflammatory energy. So it's almost like I've removed the fog part. Now I'm removing the viral part, and underneath that I can see the actual body part. Okay, so now your lungs are being filled with sparkly energy, Melda, which is going to help you heal faster. Let's get some practical points of what you can do. Vitamin C and zinc. You heard me talk about that a lot. Ester C is what I like. ESTER-C. It's like the woman's name without the H. Ester C. Take 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day. And then take 50 milligrams of zinc with it. It's an amazingly powerful immune booster. And that's pretty much all you can do when you have a viral infection. Your immune system has to make you better. This will just really jump charge it. Okay? It's like, turbojets on the immune system. The reason I like the Ester C, Melda, is because it's buffered. So it's not acidic on the stomach. It's going to be easier on your stomach. If you start to get the runs from taking that much vitamin C, back off to twice a day. But I recommend that you take that combo, the Ester C and the zinc, 3 times a day till you're better.
The zinc is 3 times a day too?
Yes, take them together. take them together. The zinc is really, it just is a rocket booster for the immune system. And there's all kinds of research that's been done to the point where patients now in the hospital with sepsis, a lot of times, they're treating them with vitamin C and zinc IVs. And they'll usually give them steroids too. And they're curing it when, all the antibiotic-resistant drugs and stuff aren't working. And sepsis is the biggest killer of people in the hospital in the U.S. Yeah. And they're having amazing luck with vitamin C and zinc IVs.
I'm so glad they're doing something, because I just had a good friend of mine pass away from that after just a very outpatient.
Yeah. So try that and feel better and let us know how you're doing.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for calling, Melda. Take care. Bye-bye. And our next caller is Miss Susie. Hi, Suze.
Hi, Julie. Thanks so much for taking my call. So
you
appreciate
bet.
it.
How are you?
Yeah, I had a little mishap. I went to get a massage this week, and I thought I was doing something good for myself for the first time in a couple of years, and I told her to please be careful of the left toe area where I had the hairline fracture for the past 2 years, and I just got out of the boot for a month, and she forgot, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting." And she had pulled on it a couple times, so it got really inflamed a couple days ago, and I started wearing the boot again because it's the only thing that keeps the pain away. So I just wondered if you could shoot some of your great energy into, I know you have your anti-inflammatory energy, and I guess ask if you see how long I should wear the boot, or how how quickly I can get this calmed down.
Sure. I'm so sorry. Oh, please tell everybody where you're calling from.
San Francisco Bay Area.
All right. Let me get you on my radar, and
thank you.
Let's see what's going on. Okay, laser beam coming from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading to California. 2 songs, right? Sweet Home, Alabama, and California, here we go. Okay, here we go. When I was in school at Ohio State, that was one of the songs that they always played when Ohio State was coming out to the Rose Bowl, usually to play USC. They'd play that California, Here We Come song all the time on the radio. Okay, got you. Okay, yeah, it's really inflamed, Melda. Holy moly. Good heavens. Wow. All right.
Yeah, just from the massage. Crazy.
You didn't kick her or anything, right?
No. I still tipped her. I still tipped her the regular tip because I, figured she was doing the best she could. But
oh, okay. It looks like those TV commercials with an ingrown toenail, where they had a cartoon, those animated ones where they'd be really inflamed and everything. That toe looks like that. It reminds me of those TV commercials that they used to have. All right, so here we go. Anti-inflammatory energy coming on it. Okay, it's soft tissue is what happened. It's just soft tissue. So it's going to heal fast.
Does it say how long I should wear the boot for?
I get a week at this point.
Okay.
But also, like what I was saying to Stacy, be sure that you're level.
Yes, I know, because the hip. Yeah, I did have trouble with my hip and back before too.
So your hip.
For the months I was on it. So yes, okay. Well, thank you so much for doing that. I really believe it's going to help. So thank you.
The other thing I get is she pulled it out, right?
Well, she was just, I don't know, everything. She kind of like pulled on it and was like just being rough with it. And I was saying, no, I need to be really, really careful on that because I just got out of the boot.
Right.
So.
What I get is when she did that, it will benefit you because it was somewhat of an adjustment, like you'd get at a chiropractor.
Oh, okay.
But it was needing an adjustment, and sometimes when you get adjustments, it can cause some inflammation for a little bit of time.
Oh, okay.
Just because all the muscles and ligaments and stuff have been trying to get that aligned properly, if that makes sense. And so this one, I think it's going to benefit you. So I think it's a good thing that she did it. I'm sorry you're in pain, but I think in the long run it's going to be a good thing.
Thank you so much. Both of you.
You're so welcome. Okay, you too. Thanks for calling.
Have a great week. Thanks again.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. that's it. We are out of time, and I hope you have a terrific week and a terrific weekend. That will be here before next week. Please send your questions in online to AskJulieRyan.com, and I will get to them. And please call in next week. Please go get my book, Angelic Attendants. If you don't have anybody that's dying at the moment, I promise you will at some point. And you'll find that this information is really helpful when you're in that situation. Plus, it's just interesting to find out what happens as somebody is dying and how angels are there in our deceased loved ones. And furthermore, there are several really heartwarming stories that are pretty amazing. I thought they were amazing when I was witnessing them and in the middle of them, so I think you'll enjoy reading about those as well. For those of you who have read my book, thank you. Please go to Amazon and leave a comment, leave a review, 5-star, I would appreciate, because it helps other people find the book, and it doesn't really help me that much, but the whole point in writing this book was to bring comfort to others that are going through the transition of a loved one, or it's really helpful for people who've just lost a loved one as well. Also, if you're listening on iTunes, please go to iTunes and also leave a review of this podcast if you enjoy listening to it. Again, if you'd leave a 5-star review, I'd really appreciate it. And again, that helps people find us. And we're distributed on a bunch of outlets, iHeart, iTunes, all kinds of Android, Stitcher, on and on and on. I think there are, 40-some outlets that you can get this show on, and also on YouTube. So go there as well to download the show. Also, please tell your friends and family about the show and have them call in. It makes it a lot of fun for all of us as we're learning all this stuff together. I call it the woo-woo stuff together. And schedule your private consults, because then we'll have a whole hour to chat, and that's really fun too. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So thanks for listening, everybody. Have a terrific week, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Julie on Twitter at AskJulieRyan and like her on Facebook at AskJulieRyan. For information on how you can ask Julie your question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.